Liverpool had a sword in her neck and was afraid of sputtering. I am one of the great shamans of the Kiyasu family. You can't treat me like that. When the Kier soldier heard that, he squinted with contempt. Say can't sao. An impotent wizard killed tens of thousands of soldiers. Collected by the staff. It's just worth it. It's about providing experience of defeat. The soldier immediately kicked down the distance villain, and then stomped on him and told him, change your clothes and go to the general. Not on time. You know the consequences. Cliverland sat up. The hand was so tight that the tendon trembled. He gritted his teeth and cursed the Han dynasty. My misfortune is all because of you. Everyone who stops us must die of disease. On the other side of the fence right now. To hold a set of documents, go into the happy announcement. Young master, we have good news. The General Hospital has an emergency. That smallpox prevention has made progress. He immediately picked up the document and said happily, so fast SAO new material put through there a week. The director is putting all his energy into it. To pick up the ear. That's right, the glasses girl caught me in a hurry. Let me bring the results report to Master Cho. She also muttered obnoxiously. A police chief like me. Turned into a humanoid tool. Tulip looked at it and nervously asked, this is the smallpox virus you just mentioned. The enemy is scary. When you look at it, you say yes. Not bad. The director said they've been working on a copy vaccine. The clinical trials have also been successful. I heard that. Ellie was surprised, and she asked for the copy vaccine. Because VI is drawn from the cow's body. That's why I gave this name. If you inject it, the patient will recover. Put your hand up and explain. The vaccine is for prevention. It's simple to say. It's for healthy people to get infected. VI withdrawal does not work. Production of immunity. That can prevent a real epidemic. The director also said, experimental doses have also been put into use. We can eradicate the disease very quickly this time. I heard that, Ellie was happy to say. It's too good for the young master to think of an excuse. France is a genius. Tulips also enjoy. Lack of money does a lot of big things. Vaccine, it will be recorded in the ancient books. I have all the praise. Oh my God, master is so bad. Mina looked a little nervous. This vaccine, it is not necessary to withdraw VI on the body of cows with SAO disease. This is hard to do. That the Han dynasty had many cuneiform. This time, it's not a full SAO vaccine. He sighed for an hour to confirm it was not wrong. The time to relax is far away. Next. We don't just need to do vaccine promotion. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Ellie clapped her chest. Young master arranges vaccination and vaccine staff. Just give it to me. I'll negotiate with the General Hospital. To get people vaccinated quickly. The wind then nods. That's thanks to you. He also asked me to find a cow. Mina took it upon herself to contact the point of promotion. Preparation of lectures and popular repertoire. He said with a grateful smile. Everybody's working hard. We definitely need to control smallpox. Internal control of the General Hospital. When everyone heard it, they said yes. Vaccination work. Soon to be conducted. In the position of the Central Hospital, people lined up in long lines. The loudspeaker kept screaming for smallpox shots. Smallpox room, thank you for queuing. In order. Inside the doctor is injecting the child. Look, syringe. The baby was crying because the doctor told her to relax. It will be fine soon. The child's mother also coaxed the good. If you hurt a little, you won't get sick. In the People's Square, Nicole is giving a talk about smallpox to the people. Currently, in the kingdom, there's been an epidemic from a hostile foreign country. But please don't panic. Your Majesty has issued a comprehensive directive. In the office on the top floor, Ellie report the situation for the exile. That's what it is. Now, the vaccination rate has reached 80%. Some of the patients were also rescued. After everyone knew about smallpox. Not only does it not cause a large-scale uproar, it's very coordinated. This is thanks to the hero image from before. So far, the young man. When I heard that, I breathed a sigh of relief. It's amazing that the gypsies trust us. We have to respond to this expectation. We can't give them 7 hopes. Ellie happily replied yes. Then she squeezed the document in her hand. That's what the work reports are about. Ellie was also a resident of the Han dynasty. Ellie's wish. It can be a reality or something. I can't hear what you're saying, so ask again. What else has other situation, Sao? Ellie was embarrassed and explained the dance. There's nothing. I'm talking to myself. You look a little bit speechless. A few seconds later, he called out to Ellie, come here. Ellie is puzzled, young master. What's the secret? As I said, you also come close to me. My father told me to speak quietly to you. Ellie nervously inclined to wonder what was right at the moment. She hugged him tightly in her arms. He rubbed his hair, she asked. What is Ellie's wish? Can't tell me or why. Ellie was suddenly attacked, so her face flushed and stuttered. What? She kissed her head softly and said softly. We've been out fighting for so long. Leave Ellie alone in the city. It's lonely, isn't it? Ellie shyly replied that there was no such thing. I didn't say anything. At this point, let go of her. Sorry, but I miss Ellie. These words seemed to take a lot of damage. It crashed right into Ellie's heart. Makes you blush and smoke all over your head. Ellie now held her hand and said sheepishly with her face. Yes, I admit I miss you a little too. Just a little bit. Then she came close to the ear, he suggested. So, can you grant Ellie's wish tonight? And he shook his head as I wished. But you said one more thing to make fun of her. I'm so sorry. It's still the middle of the day, shouted the embarrassed Ellie. Work before you work, young master. Don't be lazy. In the laboratory, Phillips Elemental Research Institute, Anti-Chin Han says. Last week, we've improved again the Maxim's performance. The main goal of this phase is to lose weight. Trying to do the death row with a gun. Development time is too tight. The bullet is worried. The weight reduction went smoothly. But the power of elemental bullets is too high. It's very difficult to coordinate with the gun body. We've never been able to break through this technology. He scratched his head and asked. You need a new material, right? I know, I'll think of a way. Your Majesty, the King of Egypt. After returning from the front lines, he immediately ordered the Research Institute to start research and development of new weapons. It's so urgent. The enemy is repulsed and will return to fight Sao. Explanation, of course. In front of our eyes, the 5 great families are all keeping an eye on us. We're just fighting back, one of the vanguard of a family. They were defeated and retreated. I didn't forget to spread the disease, intent to consume our fighting strength. Clearly prepare for the next counterattack. Won this time, but we show our power. Large army for the next attack. We'll be prepared. If we can't raise our power before this attack, It will be hard to break through. Luffy tightened his hands determined. Let everyone continue to survive. We've got to work harder. To save the wind, put it on your shoulder and advise. Don't put pressure on yourself. Where are you? Improving our national defense is our responsibility. You risked your life to help. I am so grateful to you for looking at me. Liu Feng laughed and told, do it slowly, according to your ability. The rest of you can trust me. Hear that Yu Fai happily excited again. It shows the support of the young man. I'm very reassured. Philip next door seems very angry. She immediately hugged Yu Fai and pushed her into her chest, seducing. That's right, when the Han dynasty collapsed. Yu Fai, tiny, let's leave these smelly men behind. And run away with me. The door of hate. Always ready to open for you. African forced to choke red face. The woman told Philip that it was true. I must always keep my home. Philip made a set of glasses to wipe tears, asked, let's see how much our sister knows. Your bosses have a dark heart. It's just our research institute. Who doesn't solve the problem? Group of prisoners in the military camp, waiting to die, or how to save such an answer. Ellie told me this morning. The treatment for prisoners. The war is basically over. But they're still very weak. They're made. Philip recounted. Those people, screaming every day in the nursing home. They don't stop shouting, Han dynasty eats people. Want to kill, want to cut. Listen to the noise and die. If you make them suffer, why? If they don't listen, it's better to turn them into animal feed. Not bad either. 3 people looked at her half angry. Then we don't have a date, but we think together. Who really is the bad guy? The wind also sighed a thought. Even if you are persecuted, you still feel the Han dynasty. It's hard to accept a normal life. I don't know what idea. You are confident that I know. Leave this to me. Certain will make it possible for them to integrate with the Han dynasty. I am not ashamed to be called a young man. Shaman Tozensi worry reminder. These people are not easy to deal with. Of Fabro capital 0 love with Han dynasty. Bombay's own soldiers will be even harder to convince. Do you have any plans for HOOG or something? He laughed. I thought of it. I have 2 secret weapons. In Liu Feng's room at this time. Adventure with astonished Fadlan asked in unison. What? Tell us to go get the prisoners of war to surrender. Then he turned to Furinen and said, Your Majesty, have you forgotten? We have a grudge against God. With this Bombay demon. Ferdinand was as angry as she was. He pushed the glasses back, but God forbid. You are too weak to be beaten by our army. The 2 of them kept swearing at each other. What do you say? Try again. Are you afraid to admit the truth? This black-pink woman. The wind then loudly prevented. Okay, stop. Fadlan turns everyone in one direction. They continue to use persuasive arguments. I knew before. We have a lot of contradictions about their respective positions. But now our interests are the same. We have no reason to continue frictions, Phil. She is the owner of Black, is it female? Prince of Fabro. Among the prisoners of war have her subjects. You'll be ready to watch. If you listen to that, you will not speak. Liu Feng continued Fadlan. You are a candidate for the next position. Of the Bombay family. You can accept your people. They will die in a foreign land. With resentment towards the Sao family. This time, it was Ferdinand's turn to be quiet. Save Feng Shui where negotiate. Because of us. The common goal is to combine great power. Against foreign invaders. I need you to come together. Together, persuading prisoners of war to be persecuted. I believe you two can do it, right? After a while, Phil finally sighed for an hour. Ferdinand expressed, but must do SAO. How stubborn are the Bombays? You've never seen. He then held up an advertisement saying, no matter how stubborn you are, it's never been. There is no desire for a happy life. Two people need to do it. Is, to those who have been hurt by the war. Cultural acceptance of the Han dynasty. Integrate into life here. Let them let go of the hostility and gradually accept it. Winter Solstice Festival needs manpower. Let's lead them to help. Can you to do it? After looking at the advertisement, Ferdinand hesitated. We try our best to do this. At the capital's nursing home. The sound of the gathering announcement. Please let the person in charge supervise this time. His Highness Fadilla and His Highness Adventurer. Both sides come to focus. Ferdinand cleared his voice, so it was summed up. Starting from today, our job is to help the people. Complete the work, preparing for the summer ceremony. Do you need to ask? The end of the word protested. What are you kidding? We've all been dumped by the Bombay clan, and so on. Become a prisoner of war. Tell us to smile at the enemy. Prepare for a festival. You're crazy, SAO Ferdinand. T. Ware Side Army Fabro poking voice. Bombay deserves to die. Now I also enjoy the smell. Abandoned by the nation, Annette heard that and asked angrily. What do you say? And so he and the fat guy got into a fight. They just hit each other. Let's see if I can beat you to death. You must be a stupid flying bomb. One at this time. The elemental bridge shot to smash the tree next door. The two of them both turned their eyes wide. Ferdinand, the hand is still elemental. Black face threatening force. These kids haven't seen you in days. You don't know the sky is thick, do you? I am giving you orders. I'm not asking for your opinion. If you want to die, stand up for me. When you both hear that, separate. Each one in one direction. No one dares to move the fat man scratching his head. What kind of grace does it look like? Adventure next to the ironic eyebrow. It's a good fight. Ferdinand turned and looked at what she said. He crossed his arms in front of his chest. I agree with your majesty. But we have absolutely no intention of cooperating. When you're done, you wave your hand. Soldier of Fabro. Our country has never thrown you away. The Han dynasty is allied with us. We have no reason to fight them. Take this point with us. Work we need to do. You say you're going in one direction. The FA Pro prisoners also followed. It is not wrong to talk while walking. Let's go. Follow your majesty among the people. There's only one young man with freckled blue hair. Stand still and watch in the direction of adventure. A moment later, he also quietly left. Ferdinand on the podium, CA hugging his head, sighing, it's so annoying, don't be shy. Let's get to work too. A working day begins. Blue sky, white clouds, yellow sun, peaceful pigeons flying in the sky. Down at the capital's big market. The work of the prisoners was carried out. And it's a hand carrying stacks of wood on the shoulder. The other hand holds another pile. Strongly go forward at the back. A crowd cheering up. I'm not a fighter of Bombay. He put the wood down in his mind. Ferdinand deserves to die cocky. You can't be disrespected by him right now. The animal boy in the back asked. Great effort. I need to borrow a stroller for you. And it exasperated screams shut up. It is not because you are poor. All elements cannot be used by backward people. The person next to you also spat. The people of the land die. My pride tells me I don't need help. The help of your barbarians. The boy was just driving the car to pull a load of wood in front of him. How to laugh, uncle. This is extremely convenient, right? I saw something that surprised people. Scream something. He was angry and threatened the bad boy. What do you like? Watch me crush you. Farina now went to grab his shoulder and asked. The power of a child's mind. The face is no longer right. Annette heard his voice and turned to question. Feudnin, we have listened to the work. What else do you want? You're a fool who doesn't know how to use the elements. The people of the countryside. This is what you said yourself. It wasn't mocked by the country before us. Not just successively defeating us. Even the children do better than you. The last person to hear these words. The Bombay prisoners all bowed in silence. Annette can only grind his teeth and cannot refute. Ferdinand scratched his head with a sigh and said it was disturbing. I don't know your feelings. Even though SAO, we were also defeated generals of the Han dynasty. And note that sounds a little wobbly, Ferdinand. Just close your eyes and tell it. When he was defeated, he became a prisoner. We've even had suicidal thoughts about our country. But the emperor here advised me. Also deployed the state power of the Han dynasty. Show us technology like we've never seen before. Frankly, I don't think Bombay can win softly. The Bombay prisoners heard the Han report. It's amazing to talk about. Technology thousands of miles away. I can still talk black magic. It's not impossible. On the battlefield, equipped can lead thunder. There are weapons that can shoot bullets hundreds of meters away. They're all very terrorist. I can't believe they came to life. The plan goes on. But the emperor had such power. There is no threat to us. That gives us branches that want to attract Bombay. And now I'm slowly feeling cooperation with the Han dynasty. Maybe it's not a bad choice. In short, think slowly. Continue to fight a battle, to use bodies to fill catastrophic wars, or to cooperate with a country that has that technology. Your life needs to go on your own. When he finished, he turned around and left. The prisoners stood on their heads. On the other side of adventure, when you're writing a report, then a man came up with a stick and asked, "Can I bother you for a second?" Your Majesty ended. That person has been hurling wood towards the... Fortunately, you reacted in time. Lean aside to the side. Who wants to talk to you about what you want to do? The Kier man trembled. I'm just an unremarkable commoner of the pro face. Then he held up the stick to the adventurer. Your Majesty, because SAO betrayed the nation and the people. Because SAO surrendered to the Han dynasty, I think I need an explanation. Then he looked at the Kier in silence. And he's still full of discontent. Farber's people have suffered too much. The internal struggle of the kingdom invaded by the Bombay. Now our kingdom has also surrendered. What about us? Because the Han dynasty is preparing a festival. This time, he moved closer to the young man. He feels that despite his fear, he insists on reason. Without a clear explanation. I can't accept your way of doing things. They do not accept your leadership. Adventure's sharp eyes glanced at him. She asked in a cold voice why. Not accepting how you can do it. End words. She pointed her gun at the young man and said goodbye. Then he pulled the trigger and closed his eyes. The sound of adventure made the boy suddenly open his eyes. Turns out, you didn't actually shoot him. She picked up the gun and said, you think I don't need a knight to protect me? It's because of something. The power gap is our answer. Bazaar gun. The element of awakening and the brain that operates the strategy. The Han dynasty has what we don't have. Fabro spanked not back. Bombay also failed to defeat the Han dynasty. For the cynicism to have a way of life, we can only give in. This is the answer. Are you satisfied? The young man was silent for a moment. Then he knelt on the ground in front of her. He pleads guilty beyond dispute. How to say now? I have overstepped my power, Your Majesty. The adventurer said that. If you know you're wrong, go to work. Try to fit into life here. To convince Fabro's soldiers. You will help me finish well. Right? The young man bowed his head and obeyed. He touched the necklace. There is a national photo pro that swears. Just use your best to live. Farber has not been thrown away. I have a reason to fight. Obey the will of Her Majesty, the Queen, and ordain Her Majesty. In Liu Feng's room, Mina asked the young master in a loud voice. Unexpected to Fadlan and adventure to work. Ideas for prisoners. That's okay too. Say Feng explained. Of course, unbutton. Find someone to tie the knot. It's about creating a space for them. They can let soldiers get hurt. Understand their choices. I want to work with them. Spiritual acceptance is indispensable. Trust Fadlan and Fodi. Maybe they're done with it. Really, the prisoners on both sides have been working together. At the Han Dynasty Administrative Headquarters, Liu Feng's office. Sigh for an hour. If you see that, ask. Why is your face wrinkled? We didn't see CA either. Please General for a while. Winter party this time. Didn't you invite him to the party? Tulip startled replied, I've been thinking about this. She remembered the father's reply. Green is normal. I got your invitation. But I have to stay in the castle with everyone. Let me have you and Your Majesty join the banquet on my behalf. I'm waiting for your good news. When I remembered, I was embarrassed to say. I asked my father the other day. But I told you to stay with everybody. So it's not coming. I told you and me to join. I heard that and sighed for an hour. Still so strict. Really not Tiger is General Calcium. Cold air around Hai Duong City. It hasn't been completely resolved yet. About this time. Too hard for him. Worried also expressed. The sea has been frozen for so long. It's really unbelievable. Sei Feng explained. Tozensi says it's due to the power of the element that causes. It cannot be based on the laws of nature to explain it. So, if you want the coastal city back to winter fun, as busy as ever, you have to think of a new way. Determined to say yes. Even though we can't meet, I also have to help my father. Good reminder. So let's get to work today. Wind for an hour. And then she put the paper on the report. The next letter is the person. Of money La Sun sent to. Recently, the king bordered Laosan of the La Sun Empire, trying to advertise mining and precious stone industry. They seem to want to work with us. Laughing, he said. I wish I had done it a long time ago. Just waiting for them to bite. Bellic frowned, wondering. Young master, you're going to cooperate with La Sun. A regional country says, have such mineral strength. How can we support a coastal city? I don't understand. Liu Feng shrugged and said, although not directly, but we can take a detour. I still don't understand why I want to go around. Right now, she pointed to the map and asked me to look. Now, the map of the Han dynasty has changed. If you can't go by sea, so the necessary items for daily life. How to do it? Look at the map. Tulip also suddenly understood that you expressed that. Because I want to secure my life, living in the coastal city. So we built the railroad. He winked to confirm that. Want to make a railroad? There needs to be a large amount of minerals. This business. We only have words without holes. He said, take out another stack of papers. These are the objects that we're evaluating to collaborate with. It's not just Lawson. If you see that, feel guilty. You are fully prepared. He tapped his finger on the landing table. Know how to do. Our national coffers are still full. But sometimes the country has to spend money. Only the message back to expand the army. Development of scientific research, then we can raise the country's potential. So we've got to seize every opportunity. With the larger families. That's how people get comfortable. To live a well-rounded life. After listening, I admire you even more. The tiger is a young man. I have calculated for the future of the people so carefully. Lived in the Han dynasty. It's the happiest thing in the world. Over a period of time, Mina took a letter and went into the master's office. Note is missing. Your Majesty wiped Lawson's genes and sent you a letter. Open the letter and read it. You said the invitation was good. I will personally write back to them. Mina happily exclaimed. Successfully negotiated another item. It was too much to express. Just like this, mineral resources will always be protected. There's no need to worry about cutting technology. The diamond's already at the research facility. I think Africa will be fun. Mina agrees, right? If it wasn't for the young master's own mouth, tell me. I never dared to believe. Save it after writing the letter. Immediately take the seal. He explained that the hardness of diamonds is very high. You can use it as a tool. Cutting other hard materials. This is something that's indispensable in the development of new scientific research, even though precious stones are too glittering. Looking for a place to be different. Maybe it radiates a different kind of beauty. Okay? I could ask you to bring this letter. Go to Lawson's courier. Tell them the Han dynasty. We will definitely show our willingness to cooperate. Mina got the word, promise no problem. Give it to me. Remember that you told me something, right? There's one more thing. Fody, Nan, and Phil are working very well. The winter solstice party will be very fun. I'm going to send an invitation. Let the lords of the cities go. We invite everyone to celebrate with us. Mina happily expressed. We haven't seen each other in a long time to celebrate like this. I think everyone misses the young man too. Evening at Inzo Dayline's house. Her brother shouted. Don't fight for beef with me. Daly is teasing. Call him to see if he answers. Mr. Solo just ate and told Lucy. The two of you have been busy all day. I was busy with my own interests. You look thin, eat a lot. Lucy, holding her hand, said Solo. Your uncle has a lot of meat. I won't eat it. The casino also laughed. You keep picking up food for us like that. If you're fat, you won't be able to lift a dead loot. I was embarrassed to hear that, so I ate it myself. At this time, Donut from outside brought a letter in. Tell your Majesty, there's a letter from Chang'an. Lucy accepted the letter without fail to guess. Maybe it's the case report itself. This is not the time to send a letter, like you always do. Solo massage Cam Sao. Not very similar. The case itself is not so thin. Catharina excitedly said. I don't know if you remember me. Lucy also opens the letter. The Catharina also leaned in. When I read it, I was glad to hear it. Lord, young master invited me to Trong City to celebrate Tet. You're now at ISO daily. Princess Lucy speaks loud. Our wish has come true. What to do now? Then Catazenia replied. Lucy, look to see if you've gotten fat lately. Is the skin worse? Lucy replied hurriedly. It's beautiful. It's like an ant's waist. Catazenia seemed happy to hear that. She laughed and said she was as white as a peeled egg. I'm sure the young master will love your clothes. No, I have to buy new clothes. You have to make the young man look impressive. Eunice, standing in the back, said helplessly. You haven't decided whether to go or not. If you go, you have to arrange your affairs in Eno. Lucy continued. Catherine hadn't seen the young master in a long time. It's going crazy. Listen to here. Lucy put her hand on her chin and thought for a moment. Now the Inzo has also gone into orbit. It's probably okay if we leave for a few days. I heard that, so I hurriedly continued. The winter solstice is in 4 days. We've got to get going. I don't know if I can help you. I just finished laughing. Pack your bags tonight and hand over the work tomorrow. The afternoon will start. I'll be there in time to have dinner with the young master. How to? The boy standing next to him shouted with joy. Then Katerina came up to Johnny and asked, Johnny, do you see me wearing this? I heard that. John Nest looked awkward. She raised her hand and scratched her head. I don't know how to dress. I just like comfortable, simple clothes. I heard that, Catherine continued. So let's study the fragrant body. You have to smell good when you go to see him, right? Just finished the donut, his tense face replied hastily. I don't really understand these things. So Lucy went over. It's a conversation between the two of them. Lucy, said Katerina. If you want to go to school, go and pack your things. We have to start tomorrow. Catharina looked up at the clock. She screamed aloud, but now it's too late. I want to stay at Dalinam. As soon as Lucy finished, she continued. If I'm not mistaken, it's only 8:00. When Catherine had calmed down, she greeted Miss Lucy. Goodbye, Lucy replied. Thank you. Then Lucy saw Johns off in the carriage. Lucy said, We just solved the problem of the refugees. Tomorrow, remember to remind me to contact the security and safety departments. We need to increase safety in the city. Eunice replied hastily. I'll remind you tomorrow, Your Majesty. I heard that I like to mix with the refugees. Are talking. Suddenly Donut discovered there's an AI that's silently watching them. Donut immediately turned his head and shouted. This is Lord Lucy's car. Who are you? What is the purpose? In front of you, a black shadow appears. She softly said good evening. Juliet saw that she wouldn't stop. Juliet immediately took out her weapon. She warned me. If you dare to step forward, don't blame me for doing it. Evil here. Lucy thought in her mind that this voice would. Familiar with it. The mysterious man immediately took off his hat. Turns out it's Redmond. She laughed and said Lucy Johnson hadn't seen her in so long. Lucy replied happily, Redmond is you. Why are you here? Donut amazingly uttered Princess Redmond. Then Lucy prepares food for Redmin. Thanks, Redmin, in a hurry.